Photographers are like kangaroos. They carry too much gear in their slimy pouches. They wander the wilderness looking for eagles to make sure the eagles don't steal their babies. They take bad pictures and nobody wants them. Still, doesn't mean I'm not gonna help them. I'm not an asshole. I'll help 10 of them right now.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
Today's video is going to be just a voiceover because I'm not here. You can't see me. Alright, we got 10 mediocre questions from mediocre assholes. Starting with you. I got a real question for you. If you could create the ideal wildlife zoom lens for each camera brand, what would they be? 2022 technology, weight, zoom range, max app, variable allowed. I'm not going to oblige you to do every single system that would waste my time. I will, however, humor you with my full frame lens would be a 200 to 500, 24.5 to 5.6, built-in 1.25 times teleconverter, weighing only 2,000 grams. I think that's ideal. It's got to be a slight bit smaller than this bitch. That freak. I don't like the internal zoom. I don't think I like it. You never know where it's going to be. You can't tell if you're out or in. It's too loose. You can't hold the thing. Just a normal extending zoom. Lightweight. This is annoying. YouTube hair confirmed. So I made one micro four thirds lens, 70 to 300, image stabilized, 5.6 to 6.3, built-in 1.25 times teleconverter. I think that's good. The more times I want more reach, I don't think I deserve it. Whenever I put on a teleconverter, I'm like, okay, that is a bit tight. Do I really need that? Not really. I was finding the 400mm full frame was a bit limiting. For the small birds, you're not getting anything. They're like this big in your shot. I do like 800. So if we can get there with something, but not that heavy. Do you recommend the 200 to 600 on my A6000 for wildlife pictures and video? Would in-lens stay be enough? It's not enough with the IBIS. That ain't enough. The odds, why? That's so old. Your camera upgrade, you old fogey freak. You'd get decent photos, but does that even have 120 frames per second? It might, but I doubt the autofocus will even keep up. Probably would. I have to imagine that Sony IBIS isn't doing much to that. It's probably counteracting it, if anything, but I have found that it seems to be smooth. It's hard to hold still. It's like a lot of waving in my shot, but like when I move around, there's like these jerks where the IBIS catches up. Sony doesn't seem to have that problem, so I think lens stabe is better for the telephotos in that sense. You're not going to get that catching up of the IBIS, so as you move, if you're panning shit, you'll get it. So it might work, but man, this giant little dinky camera on that giant lens, people will laugh at you. Does the wobble go away when disabling IBIS and only using lens OIS? Who could even do that? You can't. On like almost every system, you can't use one or the other. It's both on or both off. Only Olympus lets you do it. And then they don't even have a lens stabe that would matter. Lens wobble goes away when you're careful. Stop just walking normally and thinking you can stiff arm your way through life. It doesn't work. And I found like the Canon with the Canon EOS R with the 15 to 30 had only lens stabe. It was okay. It wasn't great. But with digital, it was somewhat respectable, and I never walked careful back then. If I did, I bet I could get some smooth stuff. So, I don't know, just IBIS sucks for most things. If I had a camera system, I wouldn't have IBIS. I would have variable NDs in there and lens stabe in every lens. I'd have the biggest lenses. They would suck. And does this lens get blurry when zooming like the 70 to 300? I have no idea what lens he's even talking about, but I'm gonna assume the 100 to 400. And it does lose focus as you zoom, and it sucks, but not as bad The 70 to 300, as soon as you zoom a bit, it goes to like infinity or like macro. It just makes everything is blurry. No matter what you were focused on, just instant, completely out of focus. Whereas like I have zoomed in before and it didn't lose focus much, slightly, but not much. I think most lenses are like that. So unless you're in autofocus where it's catching up, you're not gonna have fun, are you? Hey Casey, you blew my mind with that Kingfisher shot. Yeah, that's what I did. Get real with yourself. You haven't been blown in weeks. I do wildlife video with G85 and a kit lens, an Olympus 14 to 150 kit lens. Oh, that's disgusting. It sounds like you have a kit lens quality YouTube channel. Offense intended. Intended. Olympus is dark, it focuses terrible. Find myself needing more reach as well. G85 fine for now. Can't afford an XT4, so I'm thinking of a new lens for the G85. Any options out there? Thank you. The only options for Panty Boy, you want to stick in the Panty universe. You don't want to go Olympus because they don't talk. 100 to 300 for the budget. 100 to 400 if you don't mind spending a lot of money for the worst build quality lens in existence. All metal, the thing is sharp. Stiff zoom, terrible manual focus. It was sharp. The stave was worse when I tested it. First the 100 to 300. That's your lens. That's your budget hobo lens. G85, 1 to 300, 0 slow-mo. That's gonna suck. I'm unsubbing. I don't know about the color profiles, but you've done magic camouflaging that microphone. Oh, I hit it. I hit it all right. I took back that hat. This one's better. It fits me nice. But it's black on the other side, so everybody sees me coming. Curious what your bucket list wildlife capture. I don't really have one. I would like to see that pileated woodpecker. Any giant looking freak bird doing something interesting would be nice. And a baby and mother, anything. Doesn't matter. Something, a mother there with an annoying little baby jumping on it, doing cute things. Like fox, hawk babies. Never seen one of those out and about. That's unfortunate. A little hawk baby and a squirrel baby. I'll eat you when I'm older. No, you won't. I'm too fast. I have no goals. Kelsey, all I want is a perfect camera too. But jokes apart, that wasn't a joke. You just threw my song back in my face. And it stuck like honey would. And bees hurt me in my dreams. I love your video. One question, quick question. How do you make these videos look like 4K DCI, given A7S III doesn't have that mode? Right now we're in 4K DCI because we're on Olympus, because all my better cameras are being used for giant lenses that are too fat. When I'm on the Sony, I just crop it like an asshole. A little 66% crop on the top and the bottom, and it seems to get us by. Also, second question, would you advise buying this 400mm Sony and use FX3 for wildlife videos? So you've never done it. You're like, should I spend $20,000 right now? I might like this. Go home, you're drunk. The 400mm prime, like a 2.8, it's so heavy and you get no reach. You're gonna be sitting in the woods on your stupid camouflage stool with a tent, a broken ass tent, smells like beer and Doritos. And you're like, why aren't the beer birds coming to me? I'm here camouflaged. You're wearing a redneck shirt with a tie. I'm not a fan of these giant telephoto primes that are like the ultimate for pros. They're too heavy, the stave isn't worthwhile, you're handheld, you're crippled under the attack of the weight. Why bother? And the FX3 has no viewfinder. Same cripples as the A7S III, no animal eye detect. We'll never get it because Sony just dismisses its babies once it gives birth to them. It's like, you're on your own, fella. Good luck. So if a Sony camera isn't perfect to you now, then don't buy it, because they're not going to change it. They ain't going to update a damn thing, ever. For wildlife right now, on the budget, you go Fuji X-T4, 100 to 400, or 70 to 300 if you're even further down the budget hole. I'm leaning Z9, Nikon. Sony A1 if you have millions, Canon R5. Those are the 3 full frames with animal eye detect. I think Sony A1 has it. Don't quote me on it. They probably don't. Coming in a firmware, the A2, $90,000 later. I don't know, man. I kind of lean Nikon Z9 if their 200 to 600 is slightly lighter than that one, without the internal zoom bullshit that's so loose and you never know where it is. Oh, I'm at 400. Why? Oh no, I'm moving it as I'm holding the lens. I hate you, Sony. Here's a question I got on my Instagram. Somebody just messaged my ass, and then they kept following up. Like, are you gonna answer this, bro? You were blocked within the first minute of asking this. I got a EM10 Mark III Zuiko 75 to 300. Also on a XT20. Do you think I'll get better image quality if you buy the 70 to 300 for the Fuji? Bit less reach. You've tried both. Which do you like more? It's not really like in the ballpark, because they're so different. 450mm equiv on the Fuji, 600 on the Olympus. I don't know, I have both. I've had both at the exact same time. The Olympus is only slightly lighter, so it's like, I would always bring the Fuji. It has better quality, better dynamic range, slower slow motion. Although your XT20, what the hell does that have? Probably not a damn thing. Your AEM10, who knows what that does? Step it up a notch to the flagships, asshole, and then talk a notch. But since you already have that, it's so similar. Like, I compared them, I think. Don't quote me on that. I did a video side by side. It was like, I don't know, the Olympus 120p looked better than Fuji's 240p. Technically, it had less moire. So I would just stick with that for now and like get something useful. See if you like it. And then you think of moving way up to Fuji X-H2. Wow. Because Olympus has no better lens, really. That 300mm, I keep getting that recommended to me for some reason. The manual focus clutch is way too sensitive. One little movement, you're 20 yards away. So like, unusable. And like, I don't see good images coming out of it. Because Olympus is just, they're a vlogging type of camera. Really good for that. Skin tones, except when you're in mixed window lighting in this thing. I don't know why I turned it on. If I didn't though, you would die. Is it better? It's better. So Casey, if something like your GoPro is good enough for vlogging, then why not just use any recent smartphone? One without the funny exposure artifacts, with a wide angle lens and good stabilization, and it'll always be in your pocket. Oh, will it? Oh, it's always in my pocket. I just always have it glued to my face. I'm not one of you who's always looking, oh, candy cane, oh no, Candy Crush. I can't be alone with my own thoughts. Please, show me strawberries and marshmallows. I can put them together in a design. Don't let me think my own thoughts. I don't want to have goals in life and better myself as a human being. What's spirituality? Ew. Candies. Give me candies. The smartphone world with your hunched neck. Teenagers. I'll be down for dinner soon, Mom. I hate you. That's not my life. Smartphone's barely with me ever unless I'm expecting a delivery. Usually it's in my backpack. I can't even get to the thing. Smartphones suck, and it's not always in your pocket. To vlog with a smartphone, you need it on this type of shit. So the ergonomics are somewhat respectable. If you're just hand holding, the lens is on this side. Okay, I switch arms now. I'm covering the lens. I'd have to switch it upside down and then flip it in post. Who has time for that? So this is what you need, and a microphone. So you're not carrying this with you in a pocket. So you're either bringing this or a better camera. I like the GoPro footage. It looks natural. The colors are pleasing. It's like, hot damn. For a tiny sensor, it's like, yeah, you put a glimmer glass on there, you're good to go. This thing is just so over-sharpened, unnatural, disgusting, oversaturated skin tones. It makes my beard hair gray. It turns it, like I do have grays in here. On this, it shows every one of them and more. It exaggerates every zit. Disgusting. This is not even a thing. Smartphones are dead. They've been dead. Unless I was able to make one. I would have two lenses. One ultra wide, not ultra, like 18 mil, a little bit of ton, natural flat profile that I don't even have to grade. That GoPro footage is ungraded, straight out of camera. Fantastic. So I would have that and then an ultra zoom in there with slow-mo. Boom, like a 600 mil somehow. Right in there. Ultra quality. 10-bit. Do that. Then you might have a chance. I actually have that ZTE Ultra 40 coming. I was like, I don't know, man. That's probably not going to be great, but I don't mind free stuff. All right, last question. Stepping into wildlife videography, primarily inspired by you. Thinking to buy Canon RF 100 to 500. What do you think? Good buy, or should I go X-T4 and 100 to 400? Oh boy, they're both good, both fantastic. I wouldn't expect to autofocus on the X-T4. I haven't tried it. I really should step it up and like go out. Okay, autofocus only today and see what happens. But I don't know. I don't know how that would go. And there's some glitch. Just a side rant. I'm in manual focus. I'm on it, and then it starts hunting. Focus hunting. I'm like, what are you doing? It's in manual. Why are you jumping? It was going back and forth, and I'm like, you're ruining my life. I don't know, Fuji has some weird glitches sometimes. The latest firmware is a bitch. I contacted customer support. Sent them a video of evidence. I have a video evidence. It's playing right now. And he was like, wow, first I've ever heard of it. You should go sign up for a tech talk with somebody, and then they'll report it. And I'm like, I'm reporting it to you. That's your job. Your customer service, you dickhead. Do your job, asshole. He didn't. Was that your question? Probably not. So I like the X-T4. It's lighter, longer reach. Canon was nice though. I wouldn't mind having one. It's just, this cost me 3,100 Canadian to get that. Like an R5 with the 100, 500, I'm looking at $8,000 maybe. That's a lot more. And then at that point, why not just jump up to Nikon for 17,000? Buy a car. While you're at it, drive to a better location. Buy a house in the woods. Just wait there for a bear to kill you. It's a good option. So I like them both. 500 mil, is it long enough? It's debatable. It might just be. Not for the tiny birds, really. But you can get close enough. I've gotten shots on the Fuji where I zoomed back out a bit. I'm like, yeah, looks good. So you might have something. But my lens, with the 200 to 500 with the teleconverter in there, no quality loss. Quality gained. You gain an extra stop of light. Somehow. I haven't spoken to the technicians about that, but I'm sure they're on board. Thank you for watching a camouflaged voiceover episode. You can't even see me. That's fantastic. Except for this silver thing reflecting the sun. I'm basically invisible. I think I'm going to head out today with this and the teleconverter. See what we can get. So, I'll see you there in the forest. Thanks for watching and buying a Camera Conspiracies t-shirt. I wish we had camo. I'll ask. Bye.